What's up? Just drinking some water in a mug, and uh, a lot of great thoughts come in the morning time for me. Um, Usually because I have like the time to think. So instead of working, I'm thinking. So as they say, if you have time to think, you will come across some great understandings. And I was on my walk this morning, and I realized, well, it was kind of last night as well, but I realized basically, and I hadn't thought of it this way, but it's like some people actually don't believe it's possible. And I realized that for myself, I'd spent my entire life believing everything was possible, right? And I gave the example to my dad of when I was a kid. I would go downstairs and I would, in the basement, set up the hockey net and shoot hockey pucks for hours and hours and hours. And in that reality, like, whenever I started something in life, I was going to be the best of that thing. And so I acted like it, and I put in and surrounded myself with as much learnings as I could. And I accelerated extremely quickly and became extremely good at the thing that I was doing at the time. It was the same thing for biking. I wanted to be the best. And I knew I could be. Like, it was never not possible. Um, and I've taken that throughout life. Um, the idea that whatever you want to do is completely possible, right? And I recently went to a concert, probably 5 months ago, and I was standing in the front row and looking up at the performers, and I just realized they're just the same as you or me. They've just chosen to be where they are, right? And realizing that it's entirely your fault and that it is a choice to be great. It is a choice to allow yourself to believe that this is a you can achieve this, right? And then apart from choosing your direction, you have to act. And so and and this is where a lot of people get lost, is that they go, "Oh yeah, I want to be great at this." And then they don't start, right? But there's people that do start as well. And a lot of people find it like inexplicable, like, "Oh, if you just do it, you..." But they don't try very hard. And so you realize that at a certain point, they're maybe they don't believe that it is possible. And I think a big one that catches people is they don't have the humility to learn, and they don't choose to be, and they and that's like this. What happens is that they do 20 hours of work and think that they're the best. And I think in entrepreneurship it is like, you have to redefine what the reality of the situation is. And I think the best way to do that is just to look at it like, um, you basically look at the world and you go, okay, what is the outcome of my actions right now? Like, where do I want to be? And you look at the person that is, and I often look at like people that are super accomplished, built, dead or alive, who have built like empires and um, huge corporations and companies. And it's the only difference between me and them is that they've chosen to put in the time and have the humility to learn. And they learn up to the point where they're at the same level as the people around them. And then their next step is adding a creative difference and improving upon the people that they learn from, or the stuff that they have learned from. And that is in part by like sourcing knowledge from different places, and it's also in part by just being like a creative individual and allowing for that creativity. And so yeah, I thought I'd bring this up because I think it's important, and also um, it's it's not like the way that you see the world is completely normal. And I realized that like I was some of the worst times in my life were when I was trying to conform to what was quote normal. Um, and like it's because if you if you just believe that everything is possible and you put in hours and hours of work a day, like your people do around you do look at you differently, and they and as humans we judge what is different, um, and so there's this I've come to realize that like throughout my childhood there was this shame component of um, like, oh, you, and why can't you focus on the things that we're doing as a family, or oh, like, hey, why can't you stop reading or doing the things. I was like, because in reality that was my world, right? Like shooting hockey pucks at a net for 10 hours a day was my reality because I was going to be the best hockey player, and that was the way I saw it, that I was going to do that. And so you have to redefine what is normal to you, because all the people around you, and maybe you have somebody else who is like an entrepreneur or thinks like you, and that's great, and that's like something that like I'm envious of, and I will find those people. And yeah, I think that like you have to just redefine what is normal, because like if you act like a normal person, you'll get normal results. And in some cases, it's even worse than someone who is normal acting normal, if that makes any sense, because you see the world differently, and so when you try to put yourself in a conformist state where you're forcing yourself to act like the people around you, you end up sort of shooting yourself in the leg. And it's because you see the future, you know what is possible, and you you come to, and you're actively denying those truths that you know exist, versus someone who doesn't believe or doesn't think that those truths exist. It's okay, it's a lot easier for them just to think like, oh, like this is the way I'm going to think, and that's that, right? So you're completely normal. Um, believe believe in um, believe in something, like not just something. Believe that you can be the best, and practice a state of practice like entering a state of humility, because if you knew everything you should know, and you knew how to act, and I like to think of it as like your optics, or the way that you looked at the world was the way that somebody who has already done it looks at the world. Like, let's just take someone who you really want to be like, or think that is like beating the game in the best way. If you saw the world and acted the same way that that person did and knew everything that they did, you'd be where they are. Maybe in something different, but you'd still be able to make the choices that they make and live the life that they may live, because you think the same thoughts. And so if you look around yourself at any point and you go, I don't need to learn, or this is good enough, you have to readjust you have to reframe that in your mind, where you see, instead of that, you see, oh wait, no, I'm not where I want to be, and then relearn and have the humility to learn and the curiosity to grow, and become better. Other than that, that's the sort of things I wanted to go over or thinking about today. What else? I got my first agency client. They signed their contract. So, that's super cool. Super cool feeling. I have to deliver now, which is also super daunting. And so I sit at the computer and like, fuck, basically. But it's gonna be good, and I know that I'll deliver, and I know that, like, even if I have to give his money back because I don't feel like I delivered good enough, I'm still gonna learn a shit ton, and I think that's the way that it's gonna go. And then other than that, I have this drawing towards restaurants. I want to work with restaurants, and so what I've been doing is studying restaurant marketing, and then I'm going to build a proposal, and when I get in contact with these people, I'm just going to send them like a free video or something along the lines of, hey, this is what I do for your company right now, and look at these examples, build a really good presentation and statement, and like go through and build an audit for them, basically. I guess audit their company and like deliver a shit ton of value and just give it to them. And then at some point somebody's going to ask me to do work for them, because they'll see that, oh, this kid's like knows what he's doing. And yeah, and of course it's like I also want to learn with a restaurant, so I may just like land a client for whatever cheap, or reach out to someone that I worked at a burger company so a long time ago. So yeah, I'm gonna reach out to someone and try and land a client with maybe someone. We'll figure that out, and then after that client is landed, I'll be able to learn actively, which is like a super great way to learn. Like if you have deadlines to deliver something that you don't know how to deliver, you end up working really, really hard. So yeah, I'm just laughing because when I went to pitch this guy on that I've now landed on building his website and doing all his work, his online marketing, I was fucking reading like how to present proposals and like just cramming everything last minute. And now I'm like, I've incorporated into my reading, but like, God. So yeah. Cool, guys. Talk to you later.